It is time on Business Equity and Opportunities when we talk about accessing capital. Easterseals Crossroads is Central Indiana's leader for disability services. The group's been meeting the needs of people with disabilities for more than 85 years. In that effort, it can be a resource for accessing capital for businesses looking to make workspaces more accessible.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Josh Anderson is the manager of clinical assistive technology for Easterseals Crossroads and its In-Data project, providing information on financial resources and assistive tech advice for employers, helping them create the best possible inclusive work environments.
Today we are at the Assistive Technology Lab at Easterseals Crossroads. Here at Easterseals Crossroads we provide a whole myriad of services to individuals with disabilities to help them live, work, play, and really just integrate into the community a little bit more. And here in the Assistive Technology program we provide different kinds of supports to individuals and businesses just to make everything a little bit more accessible by implementing technology. Well, first of all, I guess they need to think about making their place and their business accessible. And that's not just maybe having a ramp to the door, but also making sure their website, their application process, and that all these things are accessible not just to their customers, but also to their employees. Individuals with disabilities make up about 25% of the population. So if you're leaving them out of your applicant pool, you're really having a hard time maybe finding the best people for the job. But they need to think about how people actually access things. So that can be how they access technology or just other things they might need on the job. So here in the In-Data project and our clinical assistive technology program, we have all kinds of different devices that folks can try out, can borrow, and can actually see in action to see how individuals with disabilities would access those things. So here at the In-Data project, we do have a demonstration and loan program. So if individuals maybe have a disability and have started a new job, or sometimes we have acquired disabilities that they may need an accommodation, folks can come in and borrow equipment just like you would at a normal library. Try it out, see if it works, and see if maybe it's something that can meet that need. We also have other programs here that can help. We do have a clinical assistive technology program that can provide evaluations, recommendations, and training on equipment. If folks are looking for financial assistance to be able to do that, there's a couple of different programs. So the state has vocational rehabilitation, which is through the FSSA, and they help individuals with disabilities find employment, so they can sometimes help with some of those costs. There's also AskJan.org, which is the Job Accommodation Network. They can find different grants, different programs, and also different accommodations by accessing that. Also, their local ADA office is another place to really check. Sometimes there's grants, federal programs, and other things that can either help offset the cost or sometimes even help pay for those kinds of things. Their local ADA office will have not just what the laws are, but also some best practices, some other information, and I believe they can even have folks kind of come out and check some of those things at their business. We've probably made accommodations for your workforce before, or for other folks. We all do it all the time, whether it's listening to a text message in the car, or perhaps using our voice to text. You're actually using assistive technology. You're using things that individuals with disabilities use every day. So next I'd like to kind of show you just some of the workspaces and some of the tools that an individual with a disability might use to be able to do their job. So as we look at different stuff that can really help someone on the job, it's really easy to go to the kind of the high-tech things. But it's not always the high-tech stuff that will help someone on the job. Sometimes it's as easy as just providing some paper with bigger lines. If I have a visual impairment, I may have a lot easier time seeing this, reading my notes on it, and everything else. The big fat Sharpie is another great thing, because as I write with it, it's going to be a lot bigger, a lot easier to access and to be able to do my job. Also, for individuals with cognitive impairments, sometimes just having a list of my job duties, of the things that I need to do in a day. If you really think about all the job duties you have to complete in a day, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So having a list of them that I can check off and really keep and know my whole process. For individuals who are blind or visually impaired, Braille sometimes is just a great accommodation, and we'll talk about that over there, but Braille labelers, pretty simple stuff. I think my dad had one of these and labeled everything from the 1970s I still have in my home. It wasn't Braille, but those things do stay, and it can be very helpful. If I'm blind or visually impaired, I can get Braille output from my computer. So I'm not looking at the screen, but I'm actually having Braille come up on these displays. Then I can use my keyboards as I normally would. Then if I have another visual impairment, I just need larger keys or perhaps high contrast, those can come out as well. illness, injury, all other kinds of things can leave folks where they're mostly doing everything one-handed. There's different keyboards that I can access with just one hand. Then I also want to show you kind of what a workstation could look like. So if we actually look at this workstation, it's not much different than probably the desk that you may have at work, but it's just got a few little modifications. First of all, the entire desk does move, so I can move up and down the different parts. I can move up and down the back or the front just to get it to the right level of where I need. So if I'm an individual in a wheelchair and I need access, I can bring it up so that I can actually roll up there and then maybe bring it down so that I can be able to access the things that I need. You can see on the screen, hopefully, that it's a little bit larger. So this is magnification software. So if I have a visual impairment, I can make everything a whole lot bigger, as well as change the size of the pointer, because let's not lie, we all lose that darn pointer sometimes when we're on there. So they're very, very small kind of changes that we're making to the environment, but it can really open up access to anyone with or without a disability.
If you'd like to learn more about the In Data project, look for a link on our website. It's beoshow.com. Coming up later,